It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so real intriguing news coming out of the 154 division, and the whole division is going through a bit of a change right now. The landscape is beginning to change right before our very eyes, because the news that I'm reading this morning, and it was reported this morning roughly about 8 hours ago while I was asleep, while many of us were asleep. But the WBA, Gilberto Mendoza, the fine folks there, the committee, they have decided to officially strip Jermell Charlo of the 154-pound belt. Now, it is worth noting that Charlo hasn't boxed since the Canelo fight, and we know that he hasn't defended the belt since he earned the belt against Brian Castaño in 2022. So he's had that belt for a long time without defending it. They finally done the right thing. He's had a bunch of out-of-the-ring problems that most people believe will keep him out for quite some time. And that he hasn't really done a great job of informing the sanctioning bodies if he's going to fight for the title or defend it or what weight class he'd return in. So they went ahead and they just decided to strip him. So now the belt is gone vacant. It's the second belt in the division that's vacant because, as many of us know, the IBF belt is vacant. Now the WBA belt is vacant. So for the IBF, you got Bakram Murtaladzev, a former Charlo mandatory, fighting Jack Colque for the vacant belt. But for this belt, the WBA belt, I actually like this fight a lot because you're now going to get in the weight class, in the division, you're going to get Israel Madrimov. Man, I haven't talked about or made an Israel Madrimov video in a long time, but Israel Madrimov finally gets a shot at a world title, which I never thought would happen because all these guys at PBC had belts for a long time. Charlo had the belt, so it was a pretty bleak outlook for Madrimov. But he's going to be fighting Magomed Kurbanov, and that'll be March 8th in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and that'll be on the on that card with Zhang and Parker and Joshua and Ngannou, and that's gonna be a very stacked, very important card for the sport of boxing. Just that whole March 8th card, which is next week from today. So make sure you guys tune in for all that. But good fight, good fight. Magomed Kurbanov, he's a guy that I made a video about, so I guess you could consider this my first video about him as well. Good fighter. Don't know about him for a long time. 25-0. 13 knockouts, has already beaten some good fighters in his career, beating guys like Liam Smith and Patrick Teixeira and Michael Soro and these kind of fighters. So you get both these guys. You get both these guys who have been chomping at the bit. I mean, to just get in the mix and get their shot at the brass ring, get their shot at the crown, and they're finally getting it. And I'm happy for Madrimov because we talk about Uzbek boxing. I've talked a lot about Ergashev. I talked about Mirja Akhmadaliev. I've talked about my guy Otabek Komatov, who's fighting tonight here in Verona, New York. But quiet is kept. My memory is long enough to remember, 3-4 years ago, Madrimov was the golden boy of Uzbek boxing. He was the guy that I think had the most hype and people believed to have had the highest ceiling, more so than even the guys I mentioned or Bektir Melikuziev. So this is his chance to really show what he could do against a really top fighter in Kurbanov. Kurbanov has shown in the pro so far that he can do a little bit of everything. Not the biggest puncher in the world, solid puncher. But he can box, he can punch. He's battle tested. He's seen all kinds of styles. And it's just gonna be a good fight for the division. I mean, I can't get mad at the fight. And so now, when you look at the 154 division, just the landscape of it all, you got Tim Tszyu holding the WBO. You got Murtaladzev versus Colque, Madrimov versus Kurbanov. So already the division's already about to become more Eurocentric. It's not gonna be as Americanized as it was over the last couple of years. You're gonna have two European champions. That's going to be guaranteed no matter who wins those fights for the big WBA and IBF. But then you got also still the WBC hasn't gotten rid of Jermell Charlo in the belt yet. So Charlo is the champion for now. I believe Boachuk and what's his name, Fundura are fighting for that belt as well. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I believe Fundura and Boachuk are fighting for the belt or the interim title. So the winner of that fight will basically be the champion there, because Charlo really ain't gonna box. Let's just face it, Jermell ain't gonna be back boxing anytime soon, right? So the division is going a new direction, and I just think it's gonna be a really, really intriguing time for the 54 division. And I think it'll kind of go back to the way it normally is, which is, normally the 54 division is guys that are pretty evenly matched, fighting each other in very competitive fights, and the belts are normally changing hands pretty frequently. So you're still going to have good fights. If you look at the contenders, you got guys like Xander Zayas and Erickson Lubin and Josh Kelly and Brian Mendoza, Charles Conwell, who just signed out Golden Boy. Callum Walsh, who's starting to make a big name for himself in the division with a good fan base from Ireland. Adriel Holmes, who just won. So there's a lot of good fighters in the 54 division that I think are worth paying attention to. And I just think it's going to be very, very exciting. I didn't even mention Vito Melnecki, who's started to turn his career around. I didn't even mention Jesus Ramos. So 154, guys, smile, be happy, be joyful. Because Charlo got stripped not once, but like 3 times, he's gonna really, this division is gonna really heat up, I think, a lot. So while 2024 is gonna be the year of the featherweight division, I think 154 may just have a return of prominence itself and have a good resurgence of exciting fights. So I think boxing fans should rejoice, because Charlo was holding his division up. Once he became undisputed, he didn't show no intention of ever defending that belt against top competition. And it's sad, because I think Jermell, he really, I thought, was, look at his resume, look what he did, look at the fights he put on. I thought he was one of the best 154 pounders of all time, the way he was fighting and the guys he was beating. But I think he kind of let himself down towards the end. And, they always say, like, when you watch a movie or read a book, sometimes people don't remember anything but the ending. And so they may not remember all the great fights with Harrison and these kind of guys, and the Rosario beat down. But they're going to remember the fact that he didn't want to fight Tim Tszyu and basically just took the bag and sold out for the Canelo stimulus check. So, it is what it is. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you make of Jermell Charlo getting stripped, and what do you guys make of the fights, the vacant fight between Israel Madrimov and Magomed Kurbanov? I have more measured thoughts on Kurbanov and Madrimov once I kind of go back and watch some more film, because I haven't watched a ton of like Kurbanov, and I've watched Madrimov, but just not a lot recently. So I'll brush up on that and have a video for you guys on that soon. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure to subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.